It's the Mark and HooGie Show, featuring this week's guest, Tommy Vext of Bad Wolves.
Can you guys hear me?
Hear you great.
I made breakfast. I got breakfast.
Nice.
Breakfast of champions right now. I'm a fucking professional. I'll have
What's
you
on
know.
the menu?
So we have bacon, because obviously this is not a house of veganism. Not that there's anything wrong with vegans. We got some bread because we're not gluten free. We got eggs and we got a sweet potato. And today, after this, I gotta go fucking work out. So that's what we're doing.
Do you only work out once a day, or do you work out more than once a day? Because you're pretty jacked, man. So like, I feel like you probably work out.
No, I mean, like, I work out like on tour probably 3 to 4 times a week, because on stage the cardio is a lot. And so if we're doing 5 or 6 shows a week, it's really not necessary to be lifting. Your body can only take so much, you need to recover.
Right.
But when I'm home, I try to lift 5 or 6 days. Sometimes I will do 2 a day. But I really don't do it that much. It's usually, I used to date like a professional fitness model. I dated a couple of them. And when I'm in a relationship, I go to the gym twice a day. But when I'm single, I eat bacon and don't care, you know?
Yeah. I don't even know how you have time to work out, considering how busy you are, man. I know you're working on new Bad Wolf stuff. You got the covers album you're working on. You got a podcast. What else? You're working on your biography or whatever. It's like you
the
nonstop.
biography's done.
It is done now. Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's finished. I had a book deal with the same publishing, with Steven Spielberg's publisher, and then when the Martyr video came out, I lost my publishing deal.
That's a bummer.
They got me. It's all right. It was only $250,000, boys. Yeah, like no big deal.
So what now then? Are you just gonna self-publish it, or self-publish?
No, I'm not in a rush. I'm not. You know, I have several. I'm like financially sound. So outside of the band, I have like 10 different hustles going on all the time. So
it's all
I'm
about
not really
revenue streams.
In a rush, and I think that. Yeah. And so I just think that it's about timing. I think it is a good time to have a book come out, but at the same time, it would have to be expedited pretty quickly, because once October and November hit, we're gonna be in complete chaos. And I just talked to my friend at the Pentagon yesterday, and I'm trying to move to like Montana for like 3 months and just hide. Shit's about to get real. If it hasn't gotten real already.
Right?
Our whole lives are turning into a Fear Factory album, you know?
Yeah. Oh, well, hey, so have you done any Fear Factory covers on this new covers album?
I sang a Fear Factory song when I was in a band with the guitar player Fear Factory.
Yeah. So what's
those songs aren't hard to sing.
Yeah.
There's very for me, I'm at a place where, like, you know, it would be a challenge to sing like a Mike Patton song, not a Fear Factory song.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
So what do we got? I know you kind of posted a couple tunes from this covers album. Is there anything else that you want to kind of give us the dish on?
Yeah, there's duets that are coming out. Like there's one song with Chris Daughtry, and I think Ivan Moody, I think this week is going to get on a track.
Nice.
So yeah. But yeah, the covers record, it wasn't like, it's for Patreon, and you know, I'm a workaholic, and we canceled tours, and I was like, well, I need to go to the studio. And the dudes in the band, I always write and record, and I work with my producers and stuff, and I'm always writing music. And when we're home, like the guys kind of go on vacation, they like, we're just like kind of a little different. And so I was like, hey, let's, I like worked on like 18 songs with my producer. And I was like, hey, you guys like any of these songs? I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, have you guys been writing? And they're like, no. I'm like, oh. I'm like, all right, well, maybe you should work on some songs. And that's what they did. And then so in the interim, I just like, to keep my chops up and to get better, I picked a bunch of songs that I couldn't sing, and I actually can sing them. And I was like, oh. Well. Yeah.
Nice.
So it's cool. Yeah. And then, the Patreon kind of, I don't really, the guys go on once a week and like they do like guitar lessons and stuff. And I only do like live streams once a month because mostly I'm spending hours in the studio and I have like 72 other jobs. So it's been cool. It's really cool. It's a cool thing. But you'd be surprised at how many people on social media are mad that it's not on YouTube.
Oh, for sure. I wouldn't be surprised at all, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they're like, put this on YouTube and Spotify. I'm like, but I pay my mother's rent. Like,
right.
What do you mean? You know what I mean? Like, I don't, you don't see me. I'm not like, and like, I think it's great. Like, I think it's great when people become successful and they, buy stuff and capitalism and consumerism. Sure, great. It's great for the economy. I'm just not like that. I grew up completely poor. My father was a Vietnam veteran and a janitor, and we didn't. It's cool. I'm just not a materialistic guy, but I take care of people. So when fans are like, you should make this free, I'm like, well, then give me your car.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because people don't realize, like, each song costs $2,500 to make a good song. Because you gotta spend hours in the recording studio. You gotta pay the studios. You gotta record the instruments. You gotta pay the engineer. Then you gotta pay the producer. Then you gotta record it. Then you gotta get the mixer and mastering. And I'm like, I think people just think like, it's not like Periphery. All those dudes are geniuses and they play and perform and record and engineer by themselves. I'm like a restart. I'm like, I can't fucking do that. I have to pay people to do that,
Right.
It's like I know some guys who like, they buy a property and they'll build the whole house. But, I can't do that. I'd have to hire somebody to do it because that's not what I'm good at. But some people, so that's basically why it can't be free, because it takes hours out of our time and it costs thousands of dollars a song. And I have bills. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like every time somebody wants some free shit, I'm like, you want my mom to starve is what you're saying. Like, I'm like, sick.
So say someone was to sign up for the Patreon today, though, they can go back and get all the stuff that you've already kind of released on Patreon, right? Or can they not?
Yeah, there's like 15 songs on there. There's unreleased original songs, and there are 12 covers, and they come out every Friday. This last weekend was I needed a vacation, so I went to Miami I actually went to Miami for work, but I needed a couple days off. So it's the only Friday since COVID that I haven't put out a song, And so it's a $10 a month subscription. So it's like, soon there's gonna be like 30 songs on there for $10 a month. It's just like, you don't expect Amazon Prime to like let you rent movies for free. You got to pay for Netflix, and like those people are pieces of shit. The owners of those companies. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so they don't fucking care. You know how much money Amazon and Netflix and all that made. That's why the stock markets haven't changed. This was the biggest biggest redistribution of global wealth since the Great Depression was COVID-19. And now now U.S. citizens are not allowed to go to the UK.
I saw that. Yeah,
they said we didn't do an adequate job. I'm like, the adequate job of what? Like, we don't even have anyone sick. The news is literally coming out saying we're lying on death certificates for insurance fraud. They're not even lying to us anymore.
Well, it's just like the Canadian border still being closed. Can't even cross
Yeah, but that's like, but to me, that's very peculiar. It's very peculiar because to me, it signifies something is coming, and they don't want all the fucking people leaving the country and going there.
Right.
They have their government has a heads up on what's about to happen, and they don't want us escaping America in droves to these countries where you guys like, this nigga is the most politically incorrect motherfucker of all time.
No,
I don't care.
Buddy,
I'm so tired of this. I'm so tired of it. And it's like everybody has been conditioned to fucking that other people's feelings are more important than valid truths. And the whole time, as we continue to support and coddle people who are emotionally weak and unstable, we have fucking slowly given away our right to free speech. And now it's like mandated. So I'm not that guy. I'm willing to be wrong. And, I think it's really important that everybody who has all their views speak them and say them, but I'm not going to not say mine because your feelings might get hurt. If your feelings are hurt, it's because you're a pussy. And the only way to fix your hurt pussy feelings is to have them hurt so you could get some scar tissue and fucking learn how to take in information that offends you.
Right.
Like, people tell me fucking to kill myself all the time. I'm an attempted suicide survivor. You think I get upset? I laugh at that shit. I'm like, that's the best you could do, bro? Right. I'm like, my own twin brother tried to murder me. Like, you're not going to offend me. Like, I've been through some real shit. I'm a self-made man. Like, I died. Like, good job. Like, yeah. It's not good. It sucks because I'm one of those people, like, I didn't realize this, but you know how people are like, oh, I don't care what people think because they want you to think that you don't care. I actually don't. Like an ex of mine was like, you told me this. She was like, you actually don't have the capacity to give a fuck about what anyone else thinks of you. And that's like the greatest thing. And I was like, oh, cool. I was like, that makes sense. Yeah. Because it doesn't matter what anybody thinks of us.
No, I agree.
It's just it's like right and wrong. Feelings aren't facts. So, anyway.
All right,
so we're not in Canada anymore.
Not allowed in Canada, no.
Sorry, eh?
All right, we're gonna take a really quick break. We'll come back. We're gonna play a little game, Would You Rather, if you don't mind. A couple Would You Rathers.
Oh yeah.
Tommy Vext.
Let's do it. All right.
Coming up.
Visit us online at themarkandhoogieshow.com.
Adventure Mystic is Mystic, Connecticut's premier paddle sports destination, featuring bike, kayak, and paddleboard rentals, sunrise, sunset, and full moon paddle events, kayak and paddleboard lessons, tours, and private parties, paddleboards, skateboards, snowboards, and so much more. Now shipping anywhere in North America. Order online at adventuremystic.com and follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
Support the Mark and Hoogie Show by purchasing your very own Mark and Hoogie Show merch. Shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, and even flip-flops. You know you want to walk all over them, just like their kids do. So head over to the merch page at themarkandhoogieshow.com today.
SIT Strings is celebrating 40 years. We believe that great tone starts with great strings. Manufactured in Akron, Ohio, we're a small but mighty company made up of guitar players, bass players, fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, country music fans, metalheads, 80s rockers, and even the occasional jam band guy. Visit us online at sitstrings.com.
The meanest beard products in the world. HooGie here, and I gotta tell you, I've been utilizing the meanest beard product in the world for some time right now. It's helped my beard come in full, luscious, and, well, what more can I say? Save 15% using the meanest beard discount code MB15MH. Find us on the web at meanbeardco.com.
Why leave the house to go shopping when you can buy from your couch? Buyfromyourcouch.com strives to give their customers unique quality products and service at the absolute best price. Choose from one of their fashionable and washable masks and keep yourself and others safe. Plus, check out their top quality shirts, bar supplies, and more. Just visit buyfromyourcouch.com.
Conquer Rides and Rods, Canada's largest aftermarket V-twin parts retailer for Harley-Davidson and Indian motorcycles. vehicles. We also carry the latest biker clothing lines and accessories. Free Canadian shipping on orders over $50. Meeting or beating all Canadian online pricing. Check out conquer.ca. That's Conquer with a K. Instagram at Conquer Rides and Rods.
Support the Mark and HooGie Show by purchasing your very own Mark and HooGie Show merch. Shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, and even flip-flops. You know you want to walk all over them, just like their kids do. So head over to the merch page at themarkandhoogieshow.com today.
Guitar gifts for you. A personalized guitar strap. They're embroidered, affordable, and professional looking for that electric, acoustic, classical, or even bass guitar player. All guitar straps sold are genuine Levy's products. And they're all fully adjustable. GuitarGiftsForYou.com. That's Guitar Gifts, the number 4, the letter U.com.
Hey everybody, David Ellison here. You are listening to and watching The Mark and HooGie Show.
Hey, welcome back to the Mark and HooGie Show. Today we've got Tommy Vext from Battleless on the show. Here we are with Would You Rather. So, Tommy, my first question for you is, would you rather spend the night in a luxury hotel room or in a beautiful campground?
Probably campground.
Campground?
I've done both. I've done both, but I do hotels more than camping. I go camping like every 8 years. So
Now, do you go? You rough it? You go? Or you glamp? Like
no. I went. A couple years ago, I went to Yosemite, and I went with I was dating this pre-med. What was she in? She was in school for neurosurgery or something. Really smart girl. Obviously, she got wind of me and was like, "I'm gonna get out of here." But me and her friends went, and we slept in tents, and we made a fire, and I snuck lighter fluid and went like that. I was like, look, Tommy, you want to make a fire? I was like, that's right, nigga, that's right. I felt like fucking Tom Hanks. And then later I was like, guys, I'm a fraud. I use fluid. and then I hiked Half Dome, and I didn't bring enough water, and it was I thought I was gonna die. I got I don't know what it's called, but my muscles on the way down. I went the whole way up. It was fine. But it's so dry up there, you don't realize you're sweating and it's evaporating. And then I ran out of water, and I was like, oh, we're just going down. It's like only, And, I couldn't walk. So people were having to give me their extra bottles of water on the hike so I could get down. And it wound up taking me it was a 12-hour day. It was 5 a.m. to 5 p.m.
That's insane.
Yeah, but I walked down. I was like, I refused, because I know the helicopter bill would have been like 30 grand. I will not. I was like, I will not pay 30. I will die before I spend that money on that fucking helicopter.
I just say stay in the hotel room and go for the minibar. It's cheaper.
Yeah, well, I can't drink in the minibar because I've been sober for 11 years.
Yeah.
So, I like to try to kill myself in various other ways by climbing mountains and dating girls with fucking borderline personality disorder. It's great. Yeah. It's good. It's a fun time.
I personally
would you rather have one big eyeball in the middle of your forehead or two noses on your face?
What, in addition to the eyes that I already have?
No, just one big eye.
One big eye.
One big eye.
Like a cyclops?
Yes, or two noses.
Oh, dude, I already look like a cyclops. Look, just imagine. It's easy. Come on. You said these are going to be difficult, guys.
No, they're easy. Easy.
Okay.
Easy.
Yeah.
Wait, did anybody pick two noses? You know who would pick two noses? A cokehead. They'd be like, oh, sick.
Right. Oh, I could do double the amount.
Just shoveling fucking blinds up your fucking schnoots.
This one's just for the cocaine, and this one's just for everything else. It's
until this one gets stuck. Until the other one into other cocaine.
All right.
Now you kids listen.
Would you rather know all the secrets of space or all the secrets of the ocean?
Space.
Space?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Call me. So let's talk next year. We need to talk next year. Space, niggas. Space.
All right. Would you rather?
Do you guys think it's weird that the Pentagon released official UFO footage and said that they admit the existence of UFOs,
Right.
but no one cared.
Right. Yeah, nobody cared at all. No one cared. Yeah.
Not even interesting. Nobody just
No.
what? But the virus that doesn't exist. Oh.
Would you rather have a condition that makes you sneeze 100 times a day, or makes you pee your pants once a month in public?
Oh, pee my pants once a month in public.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you can make money if that's a condition you have, you can make money off that. Because there's fucking weirdos who will like pay.
Somebody.
You know what? Everybody's got their kink, right? That's what we always say. Like,
yeah, listen. As long as you're an adult, I don't care if you shit on each other's chests. As long as you're an adult, it's not my business. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was on my podcast. I was telling everybody I went on a date with a tranny. I didn't know a trans person. I didn't know that she was transsexual. And then I was there and I was hungry and we hung out and then we became friends. But then she started sending me dick pics and I was like, dude, this is not cool.
Yeah, I love it. I was there and I was hungry. So it's like it just that's.
But I'm I'm very much like that's one thing that people don't realize. Like when it comes down to like sexual preference or gender identity stuff, I'm like, what do you? Yeah. If you feel that way, if that's how you feel inside, do you? Like that's not my And I like it really bothers me that. Because I believe to an extent in spiritual reincarnation. So it's to me, it's obvious that and I had a near-death experience and left my body. So I believe that, is it possible that a masculine or feminine soul is put into the oppositional body? Yeah, sure. Right. It probably doesn't happen that often, but I'm like, on a spiritual level, I'm like, does that mean that person should be denied just dignity and respect? No, just let these niggas live. Like, live and let live. Like, that's kind of how it should be. As long as everybody's an adult.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Tommy Vext from Bad Wolves joining us. We're going to come back really quick. We have some listener questions for us coming up on the Mark and Hoogie Show.
Here we go.
Visit us online at themarkandhoogieshow.com.
Rev Amplification is committed to innovation, tone, and service. Check out the new Alpha Series, the all-new G20 and D20, as well as our great line of pedals. The plan from the start with the G-Series pedals was to recreate the tone of our amplifiers. You can pick that up in one of the 3 options, the G2, G3, and G4 pedals, and they're available today over at revamplification.com.
Support the Mark and Hoogie Show by purchasing your very own Mark and Hoogie Show merch. Shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, and even flip-flops. You know you want to walk all over them, just like their kids do. So head over to the merch page at themarkandhoogieshow.com today.
Prestige Guitars. We manufacture both solid and semi-hollow body electric guitars, bass guitars, and acoustics, using only the top components. Whether you're on stage, in the studio, or at home, Prestige Guitars will ensure that you sound, feel, and look the best each and every time you pick it up. Check out our new custom shop online at prestigeguitars.com.
Bestronix Pro Audio, providing high-end and durable audio cables for the professional musician. All cables are custom made to order and manufactured right in the USA using premium components. Check out our custom pedal board and rack builds. Visit best-tronics.com and don't forget to follow us on our socials.
Homegrown Boone's Bourbon, founded by American singer-songwriter Tyler Boone from the Striped Pig Distillery in Charleston, South Carolina. It's 117% proof, 75% corn, 21% rye, and 4% barley. True American-made bourbon, aged in brand new American white oak charred barrels. Order a bottle online today. DrinkBoonesBourbon.com. Will soon be available in Edmonton, Canada, and in Europe.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Adam Gontier from St. Asonia, and you're watching The Mark and Hoogie Show.
Hey, what's up? It's The Mark and Hoogie Show. We're back with Tommy Vext of Bad Wolves, and it's time to ask a question. So some of our listeners have sent in questions, Tommy, so we're going to get to that right now. We'll get to question number 1. Let's go.
Hi, my name's Nico, and I'm a huge fan. It's such a cool song, and I was wondering if there's any specific reason you chose the song Zombie to remake.
Zombie was the reason why Zombie happened was after the Vegas shooting, and there was several things. There was like the shooting in Bataclan, the Vegas shooting where, I lived in Vegas at the time, and I was flying home to Vegas from Chicago with the Five Finger guys, and the shooting was going on, and my friend was in the shooting. I know I know the guys in the Deftones. They happened to be visiting the Bataclan the night it got shot. They were supposed to play the next night, and and so like the current events of what had been going on in the world made it feel like it was really still relevant. And then when I started investigating further into the meaning of Delores' lyrics, and how Zombie is actually about the IRA bombing in Warrington, at the factory bombing where those little kids got killed, it just made sense. I'm like, this is completely relevant, and it's crazy that 20 years later, this song still rings true on a global scale. Even though that song was like a protest anthem for Ireland. And I think that's why that song was so honest. That's why it sold 40 million copies when it came out originally. So it's and it's like it's that song could have come out this year and been just as impactful, because the error of human way, and what happens when people are so desperate for power, they don't care what happens to human life in the process. And so that's why the song is relevant. It will always be relevant.
If you don't mind me, what part was I've always wondered what part she was going to sing.
We didn't know, and I sent her everything and just said, do whatever you want, and then I'll sing around you, because obviously, like, I'm a fan, and it was just an honor to have her. So I never got to hear it. I just got, I got her last voicemail the night before, and sad.
Sad. All right, we'll go to our next question. Here we go.
What up, Mark and HooGie? It's Kyle from the band Bad Wolves. What's up, Thomas? I wanted to ask you, it's going to be a two-parter, to share your favorite touring memory with me. And if that's not exciting enough, what are your thoughts on what do you think will happen when we're actually able to perform concerts again? Do you think people will be too scared to come out? Or do you think they'll be coming out in droves and every show is going to be sold out? Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
That's my bass player, Kyle.
He's a good buddy. He's a good buddy.
Yeah. So one of my favorite God, man. Honestly, so I guess I'm gonna say personally, I think that Kyle got he was in a relationship with a really abusive woman, and he was like, he stayed a long time because she was a single mom, and he really loved her son, and we had to see him go through all that. And then eventually when they split up, he kind of, I don't know if I'm being too personal, but I'm sure he'll text me after this, but I got to watch Kyle as a man have a personal metamorphosis where he was kind of the first year of touring, like he was constantly stressed out. This woman would call him and like we all band dudes have had this. I've been in this relationship where your chick is so insecure of you not being home that all they can do is destroy your life. Like they ruin your peace of mind on a 24-hour basis, and they look things up on the internet and make things up in their head. And I watched him go through this and transform and like join the gym and lose a bunch of weight and then start becoming more outgoing. And she put a lot of ideas in his head, negative ideas about himself that are simply not true. Like you have this guy who's busting his ass to take care of another person that he loves and her kid from somebody else, and like he was just getting like treated like shit. And then when he separated from the situation, which I watched him do gracefully with dignity and like still was helping, he got his feet back, and now it's really been cool to see him take himself back and be his own man. And then oddly enough, the relationship that he went through that I watched him get out of happened to me, and my relationship went like that. But I didn't, because I watched Kyle leave, I didn't stay as long as I would have. I was like, man, honestly, him and Chris were like, dude, you don't deserve, my ex-girlfriend was like telling me I should commit suicide and all that shit. She's like, bipolar and on steroids and Xanax and all that. She's a mess. And I loved her to death, and she was my best friend. But once we were in a relationship, all like the daddy issues came out and the abuse, and like Kyle inspired me to like just fucking leave. And I'm just like, I'm fucking out of here. Like I'm, you know, because we forget what we're worth. You know, when somebody's in your life and they're threatened by your success or threatened by the attention that you get, they'll constantly. The way that some of these women in LA will make themselves feel better is to make you less. And that's like a form of abuse that's a form of domestic violence that we don't talk about. And so Kyle really inspired me in that to like just fucking move on. And my life has been amazing. My life already is amazing. And it's just when you subtract the dramatic factors of the relationships in your life, it's a lot. You can't trade peace of mind. So that's one of my favorite like experiences of Kyle is like how he led by example, you know, in his positive masculinity.
Yeah. And then I think he's wanted to know when we come back.
When we come back. What our concert's going to be like.
If we do. Hopefully.
I think that what do I think is going to happen? I think that it just depends on where people are most traumatized by the media. I think Democratic states are going to not have a strong enough draw, and I think Republican states are going to just flat out facts. Just that's it. Because it's like, you know, or people will just be so stoked that stuff is happening again and they're allowed to go out that they're going to come out in droves because we're not being allowed to express who we are as human beings because of this. Let's just call it what it is, because of the election. It's not because of fucking coronavirus. The CDC and the World Health Organization have already reported it is completely on the decline. The survival rate is officially like 99.897%. And these are the numbers that the science community are reporting based on their research over the entire pandemic, overall on a global scale. So we're being lied to so that they can fucking lock us up and they can force us to not go to the polls and do mail-in ballots. And they're creating chaos in certain cities because of political drama. And that's what's going on. And people are fucking fed up with it. And, you know, once the election's over, people are going to be stoked to go back outside, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely.
It's also important, I want to say this, that now there is a condition that I've heard in the industry that big shows are not going to happen until a vaccine is released and everyone gets a vaccine. I will not get a vaccine, and I don't think that you or your children should. Oh, not because I'm anti-vax, because this is a simple fact. When a new virus comes out, it takes about 8 to 9 years to develop a proper, safe vaccination that's been tested over a long period of time. And this is a cash grab, and all these companies are trying to come up with a vaccine as fast as possible. And what happens with that is we don't know what the side effects will be. So so if we can't play arenas because everyone needs a vaccine, I don't care if I have to play in front of 500 people 10 times a night or 10 times a night or like 20 days in a row in the same city. I'll do it. I will make sure that we do whatever is necessary so that so people who feel like they don't want to have to make that sacrifice or take that risk can still come and enjoy a Bad Wolves concert.
Nice.
Hey, Maurice and HooGie. You guessed it, Red Cup Jeff checking in again. I got a question for this highly motivational man, Tommy Vext, from the bands Vext and Bad Wolves. Legend has it, he's quite the street rap battler. Did I say that right? Or is it rap street battler? Nonetheless, if he was in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada right now, and he got forced to do a rap about a white, chubby Canadian with a red cup, I want to know, how would it go? Everybody wants to know. Looking forward to hearing the answer as usual. Thanks again.
So basically, Red Cup Chuck wants me to do a freestyle about Red Cup Chuck. I don't know if
Yeah.
I can. I don't have a beat or anything. Like what do you?
Right.
How do you want me to, yo, my name is Chuck, and I got a red cup, and I'm kind of chubby, and I'm not a fat fuck. You can hear me, you can feel me. I'm from the big north, and I got a fucking moose. I don't need a fucking Porsche. But, like, I don't know what. You know,
I think that was pretty awesome to come up with right off the top of your head, if you ask me. I liked it.
You know,
Come on.
It's not my finest work, but you know, whatever.
Living in Vegas, you've had to hung out with Red Cup.
No, I don't know if I have.
See,
I don't know.
He's best friends with Chris Jericho, and he hangs out with.
Yeah. He wears a vest, and he wears a vest with the patches and.
No, not Jeff. No.
Yeah. I know. I met him before, but
Jeff
we didn't. We met in Philly, not in Vegas. And,
yeah, Jeff usually just has a shirt off and a red cup.
Well, he had a vest on with no shirt. Yeah. Okay. It's a party.
He does all the time.
Hey man, listen. That is the epitome of freedom.
Yeah.
You know? Not giving a fuck.
Not giving a fuck.
What is it? Hashtag body positivity, bro.
And our last question right now. Here we go.
What up, Vext? So my question for you is, myself being in a band that will always be tied to a cover song, is there anything that you would have done differently with the cover? Would like possibly released it after original, possibly change the cover? If you could go back and do anything again, I will always be tied to a cover song. Our band will be, and yours will be as well. So wondering what you would do differently if you could go back and change anything about the cover.
Mr. Zach Myers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. If I could, I mean, no. The only thing that I would change about the scenario, if I knew what I know now, the only thing I would have done was I would have made sure that I was staying in the hotel room across from Delores, and I would have just checked on her if I knew what was going to happen. Right. Because I would much rather have her be alive. You know, I would always much rather have anybody be alive. You know, and if I had a time machine, I would go back in time and I would be like, hey, like, it's really nice to meet you. Listen, like, I'm just going to check on you and make sure you're okay, like, at this time, and not explain why.
Right.
And then she would still be with us, and we would have did the duet. You know, that's what it would have been. But, yeah, the funny thing is, Shinedown has so many hit songs. I don't think of Shinedown as a band that does covers. They have so many hit songs. It's like, you know, so I was like, oh, that's interesting. You know, maybe the breakout success of Simple Man implanted that idea in his head, but I don't see that. And people always ask me about Zombie, but I have 5 #1 singles, like 5. Every single song I've ever put out has gone #1. And I think that Zombie was, once we were afraid we had a one-hit wonder. Then, you know, Hear Me Now went #1. Then Remember When went #1. Then Remember When was the #1 song on rock for Billboards of 2019. So 2 years in a row we were the #1 band, and we were a brand new band. And then Killing Me Slowly went #1, and Sober just went #1. So I just feel like bands like Five Finger and Five Finger and Shinedown, and you know, the Breaking Benjamins and the Papa Roaches and the, you know, Slipknots and Disturbs, like, you know, these guys are sticking around, and if we can hang out too, that'd be cool. But that's how I look at it, you know. I'm just like, if we get to hang out, cool. If not, that's cool too. Like, you know.
Yeah. All right, there we go. You can always send us your questions over at themarkandhoogieshow.com. All right, we're going to wrap up with Tommy Vext of Bad Wolves in just a couple minutes.
Visit us online at themarkandhoogieshow.com.
DeanBlundell.com is Canada's premier blog and podcast network. Our unique group of broadcasters, athletes, writers, and production specialists cover platforms that range from music, sports, radio and television, marketing, self-help, and even comedy. 11 podcasts, over 20 bloggers. Pure content madness. Check it out for yourself at deanblundell.com.
Support The Mark and Hoogie Show by purchasing your very own Mark and Hoogie Show merch. Shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, and even flip-flops. You know you want to walk all over them, just like their kids do. So head over to the merch page at themarkandhoogieshow.com today.
Hello, it's Morgan from Seven Dust here, and you're watching the Mark and Hoogie Show. Yeah, boy.
And we're back. It's the Mark and Hoogie Show. Tommy Vext of Bad Wolves is joining us today, and always appreciate it, man.
Thanks.
I know.
Glad to be here. I'm very excited. My caffeine is kicking in, bro. This is like the snuggle is real.
So again, I guess we should encourage people to subscribe to the Patreon if they want to check out some of those cool covers and other cool stuff that you guys are pretty much putting up there all the time. That's so they can get the new Bad Wolves material. But you guys are working on a new album as well, right? A new Bad Wolves album.
We are. Yeah, I just got I'm gonna go into the studio Thursday, but next week I'm going in and they just sent me 11 songs. So I got work cut out for me. And there's like lots of things to talk about. So it's an interesting thing because it's like it's too on the nose to just overtly make a record about all the things that happened in 2020. And there's going to be so many like metal bands that try to kind of capitalize on it, and it's already starting. Like there's already all these people. Unfortunately, though, like I feel like a lot of vocalists are messageless, and it's like, I talk about this on my podcast. Like people criticize me for not bashing Trump, but it's like low hanging fruit. Yeah, that's how I look at it. I'm like, you guys are basically, there's billions of dollars spent by the media to talk shit about this fucking 70-year-old grandpa guy who's like some old billionaire. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like this, it's not controversial. You're not, there's nothing arcane about the information that's out there. So that'd be like me writing a song and bashing cymbals together, screaming the sky is blue. Like, it doesn't take a fucking moron to realize what's going on there, And so to me, I think it's more interesting that there is I think that there's a technocratic assault on the First Amendment. And I think that there's just a lot of nefarious enterprises that are coming to light now that the public was not aware of, and it's kind of coming to a head, and and it's like I'm going to talk about it. It's going to make people uncomfortable, but it's like my Doc, my guitar player, he's the most liberal person that I know. He's like, he's informed and he's educated and he's, really into being liberal. And no amount of like politics could ever make me hate that man. Like I respect him and I respect his right, his First Amendment right and his ability to, speak openly. I don't believe that it's okay to not tell people how to talk about how they feel. I think we need more conversations, and I think more people need to share information, because what's happening is that the country is being divided, but we're not looking at who seeks to benefit from our division. Who is making money off this? Who is struggling for power over this? And then if we're not communicating with each other because we're so offended by each other's beliefs or ideas, we can't formulate new beliefs and ideas without communication. And so, my big message, my biggest thing to anybody, no matter what you believe politically, is like, just talk about it. Don't be silent. Say how you feel, but be respectful of each other, and share information. You just don't write somebody off if they say, you might be programmed by Fox and you might be programmed by CNN. And either way, if you're programmed, you're not going to be able, the penalty of every liar is that they cannot recognize truth. And there is a principle that will forever cast any man or woman into everlasting ignorance. And that principle is contempt prior to investigation. So I implore every American to do all the research they can on all the topics on both sides. You don't have anything else to do.
All right.
We're about to go into another lockdown. I already got the intel on this. We're going into another lockdown. So buckle up.
Yep. Yep. All right. And subscribe to Patreon as well. And buy Bad Wolves merch. I tell everybody, I'm always like, buy the band's merch. Help support them because nobody's making money at this point.
But that's the thing. I'm not a good salesman because I'm not.
I know you're not.
I'm not out here selling shit. I'm like, yo, like I'm sure like my management and everybody like, he's not telling anybody about that. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. I could never be an actor because if they fucking had me on TV talking about a movie that I was in, I'd be like, yo, do you guys know about these pedophiles? This is crazy. Then they would kill me. Like, yo, this shit is wild. And it is what it is. It just is what it is. Like, it's not. We're suffering from fucking. We're suffering from consumerism. Like there's a song on the new record called The Consumerist. And it's just like, it's the fucking mentality. We're constantly, I'm not here to sell you my records. I'm not here to sell you my thing. Yeah. If you like my music, you're just gonna, either you're gonna download it for free or you're gonna buy it. I don't give a fuck. I'm not here. I'm not, like, I don't care. I really don't care. Like it's like I said, like I actually don't give a fuck about that. I care about people. I care about this country. I care about freedom. I care about the right and the left and everybody in between, because without both sides, we don't have democracy. We're supposed to have the right to disagree. Yeah. We're supposed to have the right to say how we feel. We're supposed to be allowed to criticize our governing bodies and our executive branches. These motherfuckers are supposed to, they're dancing monkeys. They're supposed to dance for us. Like, I go on stage and my job, I get paid to perform and give people a break from their everyday lives. The politicians are supposed to go up there and convince us to vote for them, not have us fight with each other. They're using them. Right. They've weaponized the media and psychologically abused the citizenry and turned brother against brother for a fucking piece of overcooked rice.
Right.
It's a disgrace, and the media should be defunded, and half these people should be fucking prosecuted and put in jail because of the fallacious correspondence that they're constantly pushing this poison into the fucking public. That's a fact.
Yep. Nope. 100%, man.
It's true.
See,
now they're gonna kill me.
And now you're done. Well, it's been nice.
I just want everyone to know that I'm not suicidal. I'm not suicidal, and I'm just an asshole, and I'm tired of the bullshit. That's it. It's not like I'm not I could sing and talk shit. That's it.
Well. And look, and I know you don't care about people buying your merch, but my 6-year-old son has been begging for a Bad Wolves hat, and you guys haven't had them on your website or at your concerts. So just a heads up, maybe give a little. Be like, can you at least make some more of those to sell?
Oh, we sold. We might be sold out. I'll just.
Yeah, I think you guys sold out pretty fast. Every show we went to, they were sold out. They're not. They haven't been on your website.
The baseball hats.
The baseball hat. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So right, just a heads up. Get some more of those made.
Gotcha. Well, just get Jahanvi your address, and I'll mail you. I'll sign and mail it.
Okay. Thanks, man. Yeah, no All right. There you go, Tommy Vext.
I'm a terrible salesman.
You're a terrible salesperson.
I'll give you this. You can have it.
Right? They're gonna text me like, "Stop giving away merch." I'm like, I don't know. Like, sorry.
There you go. It's
Imagine
Tommy
if I had
Vext with Bad
OnlyFans. I just be putting out free butt pics. Like,
just for everything's free. Everything's free.
Take it all.
It's the Mark and HooGie Show.
The Mark and HooGie Show. Visit us online at themarkandhoogieshow.com.